You're not broken, you're being hijacked. Every app you open, every notification that buzzes, every endless scroll is engineered to rip your attention apart and leave you frustrated. You jump between tasks all day and still feel like nothing meaningful gets done. You think the problem is a lack of willpower, but the truth is darker than that. You're fighting billion-dollar algorithms designed to win. Focus isn't about being disciplined or forcing yourself to try harder. It's about defense. The most successful people aren't superhuman. They simply protect their attention like it's their most valuable asset, because it is. Most people don't struggle because they're lazy. They struggle because their attention is scattered. They want to focus. They try to stay on track, but their mind keeps getting pulled in 10 different directions. You wake up telling yourself that today will be different. Today you'll finally get things done. And then the day ends. You answered messages, scrolled a bit, watched a few videos, maybe opened your to-do list, but the work that actually mattered never happened. What's really going on is that you're stuck in reaction mode. You're not choosing what deserves your focus. You're responding to whatever pops up, notifications, emails, random thoughts. It feels like work, but you're just spinning your wheels. Research shows that people who multitask a lot actually get worse at filtering distractions. They slowly lose the ability to tell what matters from what's just noise, and that's terrifying, because once you can't tell urgent from unimportant, you waste time on the wrong things. You stay busy, but you don't move forward. The solution isn't another productivity app or some flashy system. It's learning to protect your attention, turning off distractions, doing one thing at a time, giving your full focus to what actually matters. It sounds simple, but most people never do it, and that's exactly why they stay stuck. I used to think multitasking was productivity. Laptop open, phone buzzing, messages coming in, music playing, eating while working. I felt busy all the time. But nothing important was moving forward. Multitasking is a lie. Your brain can't truly do multiple things at once. It just switches rapidly between tasks, and every switch costs time and energy. Each time you jump, your brain needs a moment to reset. You barely notice it, but it adds up fast. It's like trying to hold 3 conversations at the same time. You're not really listening to any of them. The people who actually get things done aren't better at juggling tasks. They're better at staying with one thing until it's finished. Most of us spend more time looking productive than being productive. We make elaborate to-do lists, organize apps, color code everything, and then reward ourselves with scrolling or videos for work we barely did. It's productivity theater. It looks like progress, but nothing actually moves. You feel tired, stressed, and guilty, even though real progress is missing. Being busy is not the same as being effective. Without focus, no system will save you. For me, the wake-up call came at 3 in the morning. I was lying in bed, scrolling mindlessly, eating cereal straight from the box. And suddenly it hit me. Is this really who I am now? Someone with big plans and zero follow-through, distracted by every notification, anxious, exhausted, and stuck. People say you overestimate what you can do in a week and underestimate what you can do in a year, but I couldn't even focus for an hour. That moment wasn't glamorous, but it was real. I realized something had to change, so I decided to train my focus like a muscle. Not with hacks or shortcuts, but with consistency. The first rule was simple: deal with the phone. During deep work, the phone goes away, not face down, not in your pocket, out of reach, in another room if necessary. Willpower isn't enough. If it's close, you'll check it. Creating physical distance creates mental space. The second rule was doing one thing at a time. You don't owe everyone access to your attention all day. Turn on Do Not Disturb. Guard your focus like it's valuable, because it is. Even small interruptions completely break your flow, and studies show it can take over 20 minutes to fully refocus after a distraction. That's not a small delay, that's a crash. The third rule was starting small, not promising myself massive outcomes, but committing to just 20 minutes, one sentence, one email, one small step. Starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum takes over. You don't need motivation, you need movement. The fourth rule was clearing my mind by writing things down. Trying to hold everything in your head creates stress and distraction. Writing tasks, ideas, and reminders frees mental space, and simply writing goals down makes you far more likely to achieve them. It's simple but powerful. There's one part of this process that most people skip. Not because it's complicated, but because it's uncomfortable. Real focus doesn't begin with motivation or discipline. It begins in boredom, in restlessness, in that quiet, itchy urge to escape. That moment when nothing feels exciting enough, when progress feels slow, and your brain starts searching for an exit. Most people run from that feeling instantly. They grab their phone the second things feel hard or quiet. But that exact discomfort is where real growth happens. Feeling uncomfortable doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're training. Just like muscles feel sore after a workout, your mind feels restless when it's relearning how to focus. That tension you feel, the urge to switch tasks, to check something, to distract yourself, that's not a flaw, that's the work. Every time you stay with that feeling just a little longer than usual, you strengthen your attention. You teach your brain that it doesn't need constant stimulation to survive. The longer you can sit with boredom without escaping, the more control you regain over your mind. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think focus should feel easy. They think if something feels uncomfortable, they must be doing it wrong. But that's backwards. Discomfort is the signal that you're building something new. It's proof that you're stretching beyond your habits. The problem isn't that focusing feels hard. The problem is that we've trained ourselves to quit the moment it does. This isn't about waking up at 4 in the morning. It isn't about becoming perfect or turning into some extreme version of yourself. It's about honesty. Honest questions you don't usually ask. What if you actually finished what you started? What if you stopped abandoning things halfway through? What if just once you followed through, not for approval, not for praise, not for anyone else, but for yourself? That version of you isn't imaginary, it isn't far away. It's built quietly, through consistency, through choosing focus again and again, even when it's boring, even when it's uncomfortable, even when nobody is watching. Focus isn't built in dramatic moments, it's built in ordinary ones, when you decide not to escape, not to quit, not to scroll. So here's your task. Keep it simple. Put your phone in another room, not on silent, not face down, out of reach. Give your brain a clear signal that distractions are no longer welcome. Drink some water, not because it's a miracle fix, but because your body and mind can't function properly when they're neglected. Then choose one task you've been avoiding. You know which one, the task that's been sitting there quietly, waiting. Don't finish it. Don't perfect it. Just touch it. Open the document. Write the first sentence. Send the first message. Momentum doesn't come from thinking. It comes from movement. Once you start, your mind begins to settle. The noise softens. When distractions show up, and they will, don't fight them aggressively. Acknowledge them, then gently redirect your attention back to the task. No drama, no motivation speeches, just quiet, consistent work when nobody's watching. That's where confidence actually comes from, showing up for yourself, daily, even if it's only 20 minutes. One day, you'll sit down to work, and you'll actually work. And when people ask what changed, your answer will be simple. You trained your focus, and that's where everything starts to change.